Hey guys, I'm back, and I'm gonna show you another quick and easy way to make some money. It's actually not easy, but it is quick. So the the race you want to do is race 2 of the Nostalgia 1979 Cup. The reason why it's not that easy is because keeping it clean is like 100% necessary to maximize your earnings, and this track along with the car can be a little difficult for beginners, and this car is one of the most expensive cars in the game, so getting the car itself is kind of difficult. But if you don't have this car and you have, say, the Mark IV or the XJ13, I don't recommend doing this race, as Blue Moon Bay events will be more efficient. But if you do have this car, your goal overall total race time you should be aiming for is 6 minutes and 35 seconds. That can net you 2.4 million credits in a little bit over an hour. So it's about an hour, 5 minutes and 50 seconds, which is just barely enough to squeak by, but it's still one of the most efficient ways to grind in this game. So keeping it clean is very important, as cutting all the corners on each lap only brings down your race total time to about 6 minutes and 10 seconds. But you only get 160,000 credits a race, so it's not really worth it to save 20 seconds 10 times. That's what, 200 seconds. So that's about 4 minutes, a bit under 4 minutes, or 3.5 minutes. So that's a huge difference. It's about 800,000 credits for 3 minutes of time save, which is definitely not worth it. So keeping it clean is your definite #1 goal. So there is 2 different setups that you can really go for, but overall they do average about the same lap times. So a setup you could go for is a low downforce setup, which saves you a ton of time on the straights, especially in the first lap when you're drafting all these cars, as this setup on its own is a stock setup, and it can get to about 350 kilometers on the straight on its own, while a setup with lower downforce can get upwards of 365 on its own, and like 380 in a draft. So down the straight you should brake about the 200 meter sign, I think, is on the left side. It's the second to last one, and you should roughly have the corner. If you're going faster, you should brake earlier than that, but nailing that corner can actually like make or break a lap. So if you kind of mess it up, it can lead to an unclean race and slow you down by a couple of seconds, which is really annoying. But the main difference with a high downforce setup, a stock setup, and a low downforce setup is the low downforce setup is a lot harder to drive, because everywhere else except the straights pretty much you will be losing time, and the car can feel slippery and unstable in corners. A stock setup is kind of the balance between high downforce, where you'll gain a lot of time on the straights and in the corners, and it'll feel easier to drive. Along the straights you'll lose a ton of time if you are going a lot slower. So that's why I use stock. It's a little challenging to drive compared to high downforce, and it's easy to take through corners, and it's pretty consistent on the straights. So ideally, consistency is what you're looking for. So since I find a stock setup more consistent for myself, that's what I use. Now if you prefer a low downforce setup and you're more consistent with it, by all means use it. And same goes with a high downforce setup. But this race is all about being as consistent as possible to lower your overall race time and maximize your earnings. So on the second lap I'm going to throw up some tables, because it's more or less the same lap as the first, except without the cars, and it can get a little boring. And these tables are going to show how to maximize your earnings and give you a general idea on how much you'll earn depending on your average race time. So 6 minutes and 45 seconds is a pretty high estimate. It's 10 seconds higher than what you should be aiming for. That can, in an hour and 45 seconds, that can net you about 2,160,000 credits. So some cars around Blue Moon Bay are actually better grinding if you're averaging load times, but the golden time you want is about 6 minutes 35 seconds, That can just get it down so you can fit 10 races in a bit over an hour. So, and you'll be averaging about 2.4 million credits, which to date I think is one of, if not the best, money grinding techniques in the game. Now the date is, I believe, October 2nd or 3rd, depending on what day this gets uploaded, 2018. So I'm not sure of the current patch right now. I think it's 1.28. So if you're in this patch and you want to grind money, this is probably the best way. But I don't think this event will change unless they add some old classic cars. But lowering your lap times to 6:30, or your average race time 6:30 is always good, but it still will get you about 2.4 million credits an hour. So if you want to increase your lap time, you'll be needing to average like under 3-minute laps. So until the Chaparral 2J or the Toyota 7 race car, which might be possible to average under 3 minutes, the 330 P4 is the best car right now. Fortunately, it's also the most expensive car in the game. So hopefully, along with GT6, if the Chaparral costs 6.5 million, this video will become completely obsolete, which I kind of want to happen. And grinding money will be way easier and way faster. So just finish the lap and round out the video, I'd just like to say thank you, because my 3 glitches video currently right now has 729 views, which is insane considering that the amount of growth it had compared to all my other videos in that short of time is unbelievable. And I'd just like to say thank you if you did watch it, and I hope you did find something interesting, maybe something new about the game after watching the video. I will potentially in the future, if I do find any more glitches, make another video, but for now, other type of content on GT Sport does interest me. Same with a few other games. I might be posting some other video games in the future. But as we finish the race and cross the line, we do have some high time laps, but they're not that bad. As you can see, 59 races wide, and it really does not take long at all to build up credits in this race. So as you can see, the computer, they did have the Ferrari coming in 2nd and 3rd. And so we win a ton of experience as well, which is probably one of the best places to grind as well for experience, but that can be debatable. So I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. I'm just going to go over the setup real quick as I close it off. Nothing too interesting about it. I keep it stock because it's easy to drive. But if you did enjoy this video, I'd really like to thank you for watching. I don't know why I'm changing settings, I'm just messing around. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.